The first red flag was a $400 charge from a nightclub I'd never heard of. The second? A $1,100 tab at a Vegas hotel under a name that wasn't mine. The third was a $28,492.16 statement balance. That's when I stopped breathing. I sat in my office, scrolling through my business credit card app, each transaction stabbing deeper. Bottle service. Designer clothes. Flights. Marketing consultations. That smelled suspiciously like scams. One charge literally said, "Luxury experience package, adult club." What the hell? I double-checked the card. Yeah, it was mine. The same corporate card tied to my small design agency. The one I'd built from scratch. The one with exactly one authorized user. Me. Except, now there were two. And the second name? Evan. My older brother. At first, I thought it had to be a mistake. A hack. Something. Anything but what it looked like. But deep down, I already knew. Because Evan had always been like this. Golden boy. Charmer. The ideas guy. I was the background kid. The quiet achiever. I got straight A's and was told I was reliable. He got C's and was called a visionary. When I was 17, I got a part-time job to save for college. Evan borrowed the money. When I was 20, I got an internship. Evan crashed my car celebrating and never paid me back. And when I was 25 and launched my own branding firm, Evan called it cute. So no. I wasn't shocked. Just tired. I called my bank to confirm the account activity. Yep. All charges were valid, according to their fraud department. The second card had been requested via phone. The voice authentication passed. He'd used my security word. The word only family would know. The card had been mailed to my parents' house. I was done hoping for coincidence. I knew where this trail led. 3 missed calls from my mom blinked on my screen. She always seemed to develop a sixth sense when I was about to blow something up. Then came a text from Evan himself. "Yo, saw some charges came through. All business related. Don't worry, I got you." Got me? I stared at the message, hands shaking. Then I drove. Not to the bank. Not to the police. To my parents' house. The moment I walked in, I knew they were expecting me. My mom had that strange smile she always wore before saying something awful in a nice voice. My dad sat on the couch like a mafia boss in retirement, sweatpants scotch smug. Evan? He was in the kitchen. Shirtless. Making a protein shake like he hadn't just committed financial arson. I held up my phone. Explain? Now. Evan didn't flinch. You're overreacting. I needed a little help getting my crypto venture off the ground. You'll make it back. My voice cracked. You stole $28,000 from my business card. Dad finally spoke. Watch your tone. He didn't steal. He borrowed. He's your brother. My mom chimed in. And family helps family. Besides, Evan's trying to build something important. I turned to her stunned. And what exactly am I doing? Building Legos? She had the audacity to sigh. You're stable. You can afford a hiccup. A hiccup. They'd always treated me like the spare battery. The emergency fund. The one who didn't need support because I was too busy providing it. You're not pressing charges, Dad said suddenly, like it was final. It'll ruin his future. I stared at him. And what about mine? He sipped his scotch. Yours is already figured out. Let it go. Let it go. Just like that. They expected me to write off $28,000 like it was a parking ticket. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't even slam the door when I left. I just drove home. And I started thinking about the family business they always bragged about. The one they said was cash-based. The one they never reported income from. The one listed under my dad's name, and Evan's. They wanted to treat me like a walking ATM? Fine. Let's see how the IRS felt about their business model. The IRS website isn't flashy. No music. No drama. Just cold, bureaucratic power sitting quietly in HTML form. I clicked Report Tax Fraud and stared at the form for a long time. It asks, what do you believe the person or business did that may be in violation of tax law? I started typing. Family business operated under the name Holden Landscaping Services. Receives cash payments, does not issue receipts, no W-2s, number 1099s. Never registered as a formal LLC. Estimated revenue of $150,000 plus annually, undeclared. 2 owners, my father and my brother, Evan Holden. Each sentence felt like pouring concrete into a foundation I should have built a long time ago. I attached copies of social media posts Evan had made. A photo of him holding a wad of cash captioned, "Another all-cash Friday, baby." A video where he joked about clients paying under the table to avoid the tax man. Their Yelp page, filled with reviews praising low prices and fast work, no paperwork, no contracts. I wasn't embellishing. I didn't need to. These idiots had already confessed to tax evasion online, publicly. When I hit submit, my hands were steady. I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. The next day, Evan called. 3 times. I didn't answer. Then I got a text from Mom. Can we talk? You're being cold. It's unlike you. That's the thing, though. It wasn't unlike me anymore. I'd always been quiet. Polite. The peacekeeper. But peacekeepers get used. They get eaten alive and thanked for the calories. Now, I was becoming something else. I emailed my CPA next. Asked for a breakdown of how the charges Evan made could impact my quarterly filings. He didn't mince words. That's not just reckless, it's criminal. If those charges remain on your business card, you're liable unless you report the theft. Also, FYI, if the IRS audits you and finds this mess, they'll assume you're the one doing shady things. That night, I filed a police report. Didn't press charges yet, but I made it official. The next morning, a detective called to follow up. I forwarded emails, text messages, screenshots. Even the one where Evan wrote, "Come on, bro, just write it off as a biz expense. No biggie." I made it very clear I wanted this documented. If Evan went down, he'd do it with a trail. Then came the family meeting. Not requested, demanded. My dad showed up to my office unannounced, in full, disappointed patriarch mode. He strolled past my assistant like he owned the building, slammed my door behind him, and sat down like we were equals. "You made a report," he said. Not a question. "Yes." "To the IRS?" I didn't blink. "Yup." He stared at me like I'd slapped him. "You're turning on your own family?" "No," I said. "You turned on me. This is just me responding." He sneered. "That little business of yours makes you feel powerful, huh?" I leaned back in my chair, calm as a sniper. "My little business has employees. Licenses. A clean paper trail. Yours has a cash drawer and a Facebook page run by someone who can't spell invoice." He stood up. "You think they'll come after us and leave you alone? You filed a police report. You involved them." "Exactly," I said. "That means I'm protected. I'm on record saying Evan defrauded my company. You think I'd risk my entire firm to cover for him?" His face twisted. "You've always been dramatic. This could ruin everything." I stood too. "It should." He slammed the door on the way out. Later that week, I got an email from the IRS. "We have received your submission and opened an investigation. You may be contacted if additional details are needed." I forwarded it to myself twice, just in case I ever needed to reread it like a bedtime story. The fallout started slowly. First, Evan's business Instagram went private. Then my cousin texted me. "Yo, what's going on? Uncle Greg is freaking out about some tax letter?" Then I got the phone call. From Evan. I let it ring out. Then the voicemail came in, slurred and furious. "You're gonna destroy everything, man." "For what? 28 grand? You make more than that in a month. You're being a selfish little b***tch. You're not better than us." I saved the voicemail. Then I replayed it, just for fun. Here's what they still didn't get. This wasn't about money. It was about respect. About how they stole from me and told me I was lucky to be used. About how they expected me to carry their weight, then got angry when I stopped. So yeah, maybe I wasn't better than them. But I was done pretending we were the same. And now the IRS was involved. Which meant the game had officially changed. By the end of that week, my parents stopped calling. Not because they'd calmed down, but because someone else started. It began with a letter. Plain white envelope. No return address. Just a crisp little IRS seal in the corner like a death threat in a business suit. Inside? A notice of audit. Not for me. For Holden Landscaping Services. I smiled before I even finished reading. The IRS had moved fast, faster than I expected. Maybe they'd flagged it as high risk. Maybe it was Evan's string of luxury purchases. Or maybe someone over there just really hates tax fraud. Either way, the machine was rolling. And there's something satisfying about watching a family who's always acted untouchable realize they're not just being watched, they're being measured. I didn't warn them. Let them open their own envelopes. Let them taste the exact flavor of panic they once served me on a silver platter. By Monday, the second wave hit, bank account holds. Apparently, the IRS had sent information requests to both my dad and Evan's personal banks. Routine, the letter said. Part of an ongoing inquiry. I know because Evan blew up my phone in a full meltdown. What the hell did you do? The feds are snooping through our sh*t. You need to fix this. This is your fault. I ignored them all. Then came one from my dad. We are going to lose everything. Do you understand that? I read it twice. Then replied, You mean everything you didn't legally own in the first place? Yeah. I understand perfectly. That night I got dinner with my friend Andrea. She's a forensic accountant and my unofficial backup brain whenever things get intense. She read through the IRS letter with a glass of wine in one hand and a smirk on her face. You know they're screwed, right? She said, flipping to the second page. I'm starting to realize that. They've been operating unregistered, unlicensed, off the books, and Evan literally bragged about it on social media. This isn't just an audit, it's a case file. I sipped my beer. Good. Let it burn. She looked at me. You ready for the drama, though? The fallout? This could wreck their entire financial situation. They wrecked mine first. The next day, my mom emailed me again. Different tone this time. Softer. Honey, I know things have gotten out of hand. Can we please talk before things go too far? You know we love you. We've always supported you. Evan's made some mistakes, but this is too much. I stared at that sentence. We've always supported you. I wanted to laugh. Out loud. Support? Was that what it was when I lived on ramen through college while Evan got a business loan from their savings? Was it support when they asked me for help with their mortgage, but told the family I'd never offered? Or when they told everyone at Evan's baby shower that he'd designed my company's website, when he hadn't even opened a design tool in his life? I didn't reply. Because there's nothing left to say when the truth finally shows up wearing a badge. The IRS scheduled their first on-site meeting with my parents for the following Thursday. How do I know? Because Evan texted me again. This time in full panic mode. They're coming to the house. They want documents. Receipts. Proof of income. I don't even have receipts. You have to help me explain. Just tell them this was a misunderstanding. That one broke me. I finally replied. You used my name. My business. My card. You stole from me. Then you mocked me. Now you want me to clean it up? Good luck. This isn't a misunderstanding. This is a mirror. You're finally seeing who you really are. No response. Later that night, I found myself scrolling through old photos. Christmases. Birthdays. Backyard barbecues where I was always the one taking the picture, never in them. I thought about all the times I'd let things go. Because it's family. All the times I'd smiled while being dismissed. All the times I was used, and told I was lucky to be useful. And now? Now I was done. No more apologies for being the one who built something. No more guilt for defending myself. Let them spin. Let them explain to the IRS why they hadn't paid taxes in 6 years. Let Evan try to charm his way through an audit. Because this time, I wasn't the one cleaning it up. This time, I was the one lighting the match. Thursday came like a storm cloud in dress shoes. The IRS field agent showed up at my parents' house just after noon. Unmarked car. Badge. Clipboard. And the most glorious energy of someone who's tired of games and 2 steps from filing criminal charges. Evan called me the second they left. You set this up. You really did it, he said. His voice sounded different now. Not cocky. Not smug. Just scared. I didn't say anything. You told them about everything. The payments. The jobs. The cash. Jesus, they asked about the client logs. You mean the ones you never kept? I said. Dude, we're not bad people. I laughed once. Sharp. You used my credit. Lied about it. Then told me to get over it. You are bad people. You're just used to being protected. I hung up before he could reply. Later that night, I got a text from my cousin Jenna. She's a hairstylist who used to refer clients to my parents' business for landscaping deals. Hey, your dad said you're going after the family. Is this true? What's happening? I replied simply. They committed fraud. I protected myself. She didn't respond. But the next day, I saw she unfollowed Evan on everything. 2 days later, the ripple effect hit full speed. The family group chat exploded. Mom, we're being torn apart over a misunderstanding. Dad, this could ruin Evan's future. You're making it personal. Evan, hope you enjoy watching your brother go to jail. Congrats, you snake. I didn't answer. Then someone unexpected messaged me privately. My Aunt Marie. She's my mom's sister. We'd barely spoken in years. But she sent one sentence. I always knew you were the smart one. They never deserved you. That meant something. Meanwhile, I got an email from my accountant. FYI, since your business was tied to the charges, the IRS may contact you as a witness. Perfect. Let them. Because I had everything in order. I kept records. Paid taxes. Filed every expense, every client contract, every stupid software subscription. Unlike Evan. His crypto marketing business was a bunch of rented Airbnbs, designer clothes, and fake gurus charging $4,000 Zoom fees. And now he had to prove it all wasn't personal luxury spending. He was about to learn that the IRS doesn't care about your vibes. They care about receipts. I drove by my parents' house that weekend. Didn't stop. Just parked across the street for a minute. The yard hadn't been mowed. That was ironic. The landscaping business looked dead. No trucks. No tools. No clients. Just silence. For years, they acted like I was the cold one. The bitter one. But bitterness didn't drain 28 grand from someone's card. Bitterness didn't dodge taxes. Bitterness didn't steal and expect applause. They weren't bitter. They were entitled. And for the first time in their lives, someone was saying no. They always thought they were untouchable. My dad used to brag that. No paper trail means no problems. He said it like gospel. In his eyes, cash-based business wasn't a workaround, it was a shield. Now that shield had turned into a target. It started small, a hold on one of their business checking accounts. The IRS was verifying activity. Then came flagged transactions. Then an inquiry into a suspiciously large Venmo trail under Evan's name, most labeled with emojis like money with wings or fire, real professional stuff. Their accountant quit 2 days into the audit. And Evan? He went full nuclear. He called me screaming. They're going through everything. My business account is frozen. Do you understand what you've done? I didn't answer at first. I just let him breathe in his own panic. Finally I said, "Yeah. I understand completely." He started to say something else, but I hung up. 10 minutes later, I got a group text from my mom. "We know you're angry. But this? You've gone too far. Evan's struggling. He doesn't deserve this. We're your family." My reply? "Then maybe you should have acted like it." "They called me a traitor," said I'd. "Sold out my own blood. To prove a point." But it wasn't about proving anything. It was about stopping the cycle. When Evan maxed out my business card, he didn't just steal money, he attacked my name, my company, my future. And when my dad said, "Just let it go, he's family," what he really meant was, "You don't matter as much." This wasn't revenge. It was balance. That weekend, I met with my CPA again. We finalized a detailed response to the IRS in case they needed further documentation. I submitted a written statement outlining the unauthorized card usage, the forged application for a second card, and proof of where the charges were spent. We also included a timeline of Evan's fake business expenses, trips labeled as networking, that included strip clubs and bottle service, crypto, consultants, that never actually billed him, one payment labeled Marketing Guru Mentorship, turned out to be a $5,000 weekend in Miami. Meanwhile, my business had never missed a filing, never ducked a tax, never hit $1. If they were looking for fraud, they weren't going to find it on my side. On Monday morning, I got an unexpected text from my dad. "We've made mistakes. But dragging the government into this? You'll regret it." I stared at it for a long time. And then I replied, "You dragged the government in when you built a business designed to avoid taxes." No answer. But I could imagine the look on his face. The first time in his life someone pushed back and didn't fold under the guilt trip. That silence sounded like freedom. The IRS called me on a Tuesday afternoon. "Mr. Holden, we'd like to schedule a formal interview. You were listed as an impacted party in the audit case regarding Holden Landscaping Services." Impacted party. That's a polite way to say, "Your family used you as financial toilet paper." I agreed to the meeting. Sent over the documents they requested. Copies of the card statements. Screenshots of Evan's texts. A sworn letter from my bank proving he'd called and pretending to be me to get the second card issued. The agent, a calm, unshakable woman named Reese, reviewed everything in silence. When she finally looked up, her expression was unreadable. "This is thorough. And very clear." I just nodded. She flipped through the folder once more. "Just so you understand, this is no longer a simple audit. We're looking at felony-level tax evasion. Multiple years. Pattern of misrepresentation. And if your brother used your business credit card for personal expenses while claiming them as business write-offs." I finished it for her. "That's fraud." "Yes," she said. "And we've confirmed that over $110,000 in income wasn't declared over the past 3 years." I felt that number settle on my shoulders, but not like a burden. Like a final truth finally spoken aloud. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't overreacting. They really had been leeching off everyone, all while acting like they were kings. After the meeting, I sat in my car outside the IRS office. Just sat there, watching people walk by, holding the steering wheel like it was keeping me tethered to reality. I thought about that moment in my parents' living room. When they all looked at me, Evan smug, Dad cold, Mom disappointed, and told me to just let it go. That family forgives. Forgiveness isn't something you demand. It's something you earn. And none of them had even tried. Later that night, I got a Facebook message from a guy named Chris. Said he used to work for my dad and Evan, part-time during college. landscaping gigs, hauling dirt, yard installs. Heard what's going on. Just wanted to say, they always ran shady. Paid me in cash. Never gave me tax forms. Told me to just enjoy not getting taxed. I asked if he'd be willing to share that with the IRS. His reply? Already did. Turns out, I wasn't the only one they stepped on. Just the first one who stepped back. Meanwhile, Evan started damage control, publicly. He posted a video on Instagram. Hoodie. Sad eyes. Very rehearsed. Sometimes people in your life betray you when you're just trying to build something. I took a risk. I admit I made mistakes. But turning on your own blood? That's cold. He turned off comments. Of course he did. The following weekend, my mom showed up at my office. No warning. No appointment. Just walked in and asked my receptionist for me. I stood in the doorway and watched her for a few seconds. She looked smaller than I remembered. She turned and smiled like nothing had happened. Hi, sweetheart. I didn't smile back. You can't be here. I just want to talk. You've had months to talk. You chose to protect Evan. Tears formed in her eyes, but they didn't move me this time. I'd seen this performance before. You're better than this, she said softly. You're not spiteful. No, I said. But I'm done being disposable. She flinched. Tried to say something else. But I'd already nodded to my assistant, who gently walked her out. That was the last time I saw her in person. No screaming. No drama. Just the quiet closing of a door that had been left open far too long. I found out Evan was being indicted through a local news article. Small business owner under investigation for fraud, tax evasion. It didn't name him, but the details were obvious. The business name, the neighborhood, the timeline. The comments section lit up. Neighbors, former classmates, a few clients, all adding their stories. He gave me a discount for paying in cash. Guess I know why now. He showed up in a $70,000 truck and told me he wasn't making enough to quote me full price. This guy installed my patio last year. No contract. No invoice. There it was, a paper trail made from all the shortcuts they thought would keep them safe. And now? Those shortcuts were evidence. A few days later, I was called in for my official witness statement. It felt surreal. I sat across from a federal agent, handing over files I once kept hidden to avoid embarrassing the family. Now they were tools for justice. They asked questions. I answered plainly. I didn't embellish. I didn't need to. The numbers told the story better than I ever could. When I walked out, I felt light. For the first time in my life, I wasn't cleaning up their mistakes. I was testifying to them. That night, I received an email from Evan. This is all on you. I hope you know that. You couldn't let it go. You had to ruin me. I almost didn't respond. But then I did. You ruined yourself. I just stopped letting you do it to me too. No reply. Meanwhile, word spread fast through the family. My cousin Jen messaged me privately. Your parents are saying you went behind everyone's back. That you flipped because you were jealous of Evan. I sent her screenshots of the charges, the forged card request, and the texts. She didn't reply. But 2 days later, she deleted every photo of Evan from her page. I wasn't doing victory laps. I didn't feel like a hero. But I was done being the family's backup plan. Their easy fix. The one they called reliable when they meant disposable. Evan had always believed the rules didn't apply to him. Now he was learning they do. Even when your dad says, let it go. Even when your mom says, he's trying. Even when the whole world tells you, don't make trouble. Sometimes, trouble is the only thing that gets their attention. Evan pled guilty. 2 felony counts. Tax evasion and wire fraud. He took a deal, avoided jail but got house arrest, fines, and a 6-figure restitution plan that'll follow him into middle age. My parents were humiliated. But not because of what he did. Because it became public. They blamed the court, the media, even me. Never once themselves. I didn't show up for sentencing. Didn't need to. I'd already gotten everything I needed. My name cleared. My company intact. And most importantly, boundaries that finally held. Evan's credit is trashed. The business is dead. Their silence? Deafening. And I'm fine with that. Last week, I got a letter. From my mom. Handwritten. Shaky. No return address. We just wanted what was best. Maybe we were wrong. But you didn't have to go this far. That's the thing though. I didn't go far. I went just far enough. The business I built? Still thriving. Clients up. Profits up. And not a single dollar goes unreported. Funny how clean things are when you're not dragging dead weight behind you. Some nights, I think about that brunch. The one where my dad said, "Let it go." I picture that moment frozen in time, them all sitting there, so sure I'd stay quiet. So sure I'd be the good one again. They didn't know they were giving me permission. Not to forgive. But to fight back. I wasn't the one who destroyed the family. I was just the first one who stopped lying for it.